Welcome to the Global Pulse, a short video series where our experts break down a trending topic in international business and why it matters to you.
Our first COVID case in Iceland was on February 28th, and a gathering ban went into effect on March 16th. It banned a gathering of more than 100 people, and at the same time, the 6 feet rule, or the 2-meter rule as we call it in Europe, went into effect. So this is not a shelter-in-place requirement, so stores have remained open, so have restaurants, and elementary schools and daycares have been on a reduced schedule. As of last week, we have seen a daily reduction in active cases. So as a result, now there are plans to resume full opening of, for example, our elementary schools and daycares as of May 4th. So how did we achieve this in Iceland? I believe there are 2 key components. So first is testing. Everyone who wants the test can have one, and everyone with symptoms gets one. As an interesting side note, we have also been doing random testing to estimate the prevalence of the virus. So the numbers last week were that 0.6% of the population were infected. The second key component, and equally important, is that we have been doing a very aggressive contact tracing. So the contacts of everyone who has been diagnosed are tracked down and put into quarantine. And our contact tracing task force, for example, include our police detectives. In addition, an interesting technological development is that the authorities released last week an app that collects your location on your phone, and if and only if you are diagnosed, the information can be shared to aid in the contact tracing. And so within days, a third of the population had actually downloaded and activated the app on their phones. And this has worked. Over half of those who have been diagnosed were already in quarantine at the time they were diagnosed.
Hi everyone. So just a little bit about COVID in Romania. Romania is an East European country that joined the European Union relatively recently. It is a country of the size of the state of New York with roughly 19 million inhabitants, citizens. Currently, it has 6,300 cases with more than 316 people who died. It's not very clear what these numbers mean, given the fact that testing is not yet very high. Over 62,000 people have been tested, which means about 3.21 tested people for 1,000 citizens. Something very specific about Romania is the fact that it has a large diaspora. This was something that impacted the way the country reacted to this crisis. Part of the diaspora of these people who are abroad working seasonal employment, and roughly 250,000 people returned to Romania in March. And this was what the government had to deal with. So placing them in organized quarantine, and also trying to avoid an overload of a system that is less developed and also understaffed, given the fact that we have a very large number of Romanian doctors and nurses working abroad, mostly in the European Union and basically in France and the UK in particular. The problem was that most of the seasonal workers who returned to Romania were coming from areas that were very heavily affected by the COVID crisis, mainly Spain and Italy.